Not necessarily. We're not really seeing that. Clearly there's a lot of tension, as you mentioned, between U.S. and China. And at this point, the Chinese, when it comes to the freight market, they're importing a lot of iron ore and coal from other sources. Grains, which they've traditionally imported from the U.S. in meaningful amounts, they've just taken it from other areas. On the oil side, we actually have just started to see over the past couple of months an increase in fixture activity for actual crude oil to move from the U.S. Gulf to China. So there's a lot of negative rhetoric, but at this point, we've actually seen an actual increase in crude oil movements, at least to start. But when it comes to overall activity, as we're getting through this COVID-19 situation, we have started to see a real increase in freight activity, particularly in the dry bulk side, after really 6 to 9 months of very, very soft volumes. And it's very promising, especially on the iron ore side, with industrial production picking up in China, and now exports of iron ore from Australia and Brazil in particular, which were up about 50% during the month of June versus May. It's really picked up steam and showing some encouraging signs for the freight market overall.
Omar, I've been looking at that iron ore market and the exports from Australia, clearly very significant for Australia to be sending the product to China. No, we are also seeing very strong trade tensions between China and Australia, which is kind of unusual. We've not witnessed the escalation tensions to this extent before, and that's even now encompassed Hong Kong and an extradition treaty. Are you concerned that the iron ore market might have some implications because of those tensions between China and Australia?
Yes, it is definitely a risk, and we've seen a lot of the whether different ports are requiring an extra bit of quarantining if you're coming from certain high risk areas, which China has been viewed as a high risk area, and so it's slowed down the ability of companies to bring in iron ore from different Australian mines. What we have seen, at least for now, is the Brazilian market has come back after about a month or two of really inconsistent activity around the April-May period. June, it came back to life. And like I said, Brazil exports were up 50%. And so there is now a swing producer or somebody else with meaningful capacity that can bring iron ore to market. And for the shipping market overall, it's good news theoretically, because that's coming from a much longer distance, and that's going to tie up capacity for quite a bit longer. But yes, that tension between Australia and China, it's something that has had an impact. And about 2 months ago, it would have been much more significant because Brazil was not in the game. They've had a lot of issues bringing iron ore to port, but that started to thaw here over the past 4 to 5 weeks.